everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy that you wanted to join me today because today we're talking about why secondhand fashion is not as low impact as we wish it was. But before we get started, thank you so much to my Patreon supporters. I am making this video because of you guys and thank you so much for that. If you want to support me on Patreon, you can follow the link at the end of this video and you can also follow the link down below. I post exclusive stuff on Patreon and just small bits and bobs that you're not going to see in the video and that you're not going to see on Instagram. So it's definitely worth a check. The video. Okay, so what I've been thinking a lot about, because I buy, if you're new to this channel, I do not buy anything from new. I buy everything secondhand. I buy it used. I buy something that is homemade. I try to stay out of conventional stores as much as I can because I do not want to support the production of certain items. Something that I've been very verbal about not supporting is fast fashion, because fast fashion often means sweatshops, unfair conditions for workers, unfair wages, and general ocean pollution. If you want to watch more about fast fashion and the impact it has on the environment, go watch the documentary River Blue. It is so good. I want to talk about why sometimes secondhand fashion is not as sustainable as we wish it was. So I buy most of my clothes secondhand, and we have specific apps in Denmark for buying things secondhand. It's sort of like Craigslist, but it's mainly on an app, and it's great. It's called Tradono. I've used it a lot. I've used it primarily to decorate this apartment. We also have something called Trend Sales, which is only for clothes. It's sort of like Depop, and we have tons of these small apps and firms everywhere that support you know, switching clothes and buying things from each other, and it's really nice, and it's something that I really love. I am so grateful we have the opportunity to do that. But there are issues with this if you want to live low impact, if you want to live zero waste, because fashion is so wasteful we don't even know. It's madness. And I've been thinking about stuff regarding this issue, because usually when I do not use Tradono or one of these apps, I go to charity shops, and I love going to charity shops, although I know some clothes are wasted and are actually not sold but are wasted because the condition was too bad or they didn't know what to do with it. But when I buy something in a charity shop, I know that the money is going somewhere good, and I really appreciate that, so I want to support that initiative. But sometimes when I use apps like Tradono, like Trend Sales, like Depop, there is the issue of supporting an unsustainable practice in a neutral, or maybe not neutral, but you know, in a passive manner. Because lots of people that post clothes on Tradono, on Depop and the sites alike, they do it in order to get room for new clothes. They go out and buy new clothes from H&M, and they go out and buy new clothes from Topshop, Urban Outfitters, all of these places that produce clothes in an extremely unethical and in an extremely unsustainable way. And by purchasing clothes and items from people that does this, makes you a passive supporter of that practice. If we're going to be really square about this is not a video of me telling you guys that you shouldn't go out and buy secondhand clothes, because it is an extremely good option, and often it is the only option for sustainable clothes. A t-shirt shouldn't be $1. If a t-shirt is $1, there's something completely wrong with the way it was produced. That is just fact. That's just how it is. You shouldn't be able to go down to a store and buy clothes that cheap. So when you're purchasing something from a sustainable company that is often way more expensive, it's because you're actually paying the true cost of the item, and that can be a really good investment. And that is just how expensive it can be to produce something sustainably. But I really want to support those sort of companies. But often secondhand is the best, cheapest and most convenient way. In terms of convenient, we can be a bit fussy on that. I buy this skirt from this woman and she goes out and buys a new skirt from H&M. That is usually how something happens, and I can't make myself responsible for that, but it's important that I acknowledge that that is something that happens. It's important, and that is the point of this video, I think. It's important to not be oblivious to the fact that you are actually a part of a process and a part of a bigger consumer dynamic. Although you may be participating in it passively, you're still a part of it. And I think that's really important to remember and to acknowledge that that is how it is. No one is zero waste, no one is completely no impact. That does not exist, which is also why I appreciate the low impact lifestyle sort of terminology. I mean, zero in zero waste. It's not the practice, it's the goal. Booyah. But I mean, I think it's just really important to acknowledge that although you may be purchasing something from a person that then goes out and buys more crap, that is just how the world is, and that is not the only way to not be a part of that is simply not to buy anything ever. And I do not think any of us are interested in living a life without zero possessions, because that does not work. Whenever you wear a skirt from ASOS, you promote ASOS, you do not promote the charity shop. And I often find that people compliment me on my clothes and ask me where I bought it in real life, often, you know, family gatherings and whatnot, but also on Instagram and, you know, on YouTube and places where people sort of should know that I do not buy new things. Ask me, where did you get the thing? And it is first when I have to explain to people it's secondhand and why I choose only to buy secondhand that I'm an active part of a better solution. Because just by doing it passively, silently, I am not, because people will assume that I bought it somewhere and possibly will go to real stores to try and find similar items. That's an issue, that's a problem generally with social media, that is going to be the case. People want to buy things new, people want to buy, you know, the exact thing, not going to 12 different charity shops to try and find a similar thing. But that is what we should do though. Yes, it is more inconvenient, yes, it is more time consuming, but it's so worth it. This is just something that I've been thinking about, and I hope that it made sort of sense. I mean, I rarely make sense, but this is me editing with a final thought as well. I just forgot to tell you guys that if you buy secondhand clothes that is not organic materials or not natural materials but synthetic materials, you will also discharge microplastic every time you wash it. So in that sense, it is also some sort of wasteful and some sort of impact. So that is also something to think about when choosing fibers. That is just me, over and out. I hope that you can deal with it. If you like this video, leave me a thumbs up, and if you want to comment, tell me something you bought secondhand, tell me some of your thoughts regarding secondhand shopping. I would love to know. Leave them down below and let me check it out. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and of course on my own blog, kittimary.com. See you guys in my next video, and take really good care of yourselves until then. Bye!